Dear students, change is an important feature of nature. Every moment, several changes take place around us. These changes are exciting and they generate in us the curiosity to know the reasons behind each of them. Some common changes which we observe in nature and in our surroundings are changes of day and night, change of climate, rainfall, melting of ice, freezing of water, growth of plants and animals, rusting of irons, and many more. But what happens to the substance when a change occurs in it? When changes take place, the substances may change their color, shape, size, hardness, state, position, etc. Almost all substances around us undergo changes, but while some changes are easy to detect, others are too small to be noticed. Some of these changes are useful to us while others are not. We always think and try to ensure that useful changes should take place faster while the harmful changes should stop or they should rarely happen. We should remember that there is always a reason behind every change. Since most of the changes are different in nature, we need to classify them and study them accordingly in detail. There are different types of changes based on how or on what basis we try to interpret them. So first I am going to discuss slow changes and fast changes. The changes that take longer time to complete are called slow changes. These changes may take hours, days, months, or even years to occur. Examples like the first one, a young man growing old. It takes what? It doesn't take 1 hour or 2 hour or 1 year or 2 years. It takes a few years. Second, the evaporation of water from a lake. Though it is a continuous process, but still it takes what? Hours and hours. The germination of seeds takes days. Formation of fossil fuels from dead plants and animals is also very slow change. They take hundreds and thousands of years to be formed. Rusting of iron, tooth decay, freezing of water, change of seasons are all slow changes. Next, the changes that take place in very short interval of time are called fast changes. For example, when a piece of paper is lit, it immediately catches fire and changes into black ash, and the smoke released is lost into the air. Bursting of an inflated balloon, bursting of a cracker, lightning of an electric bulb. These are some examples of fast changes. Now, next is natural and man-made changes. Some of the changes take place in nature by itself and they are never ending. Such changes are called natural changes. The formation of coal from dead and decaying plants is a natural change, and the examples of natural changes are change of day and night, change of seasons, earthquakes, growth of all living organisms, growing of a tree, eruption of volcanoes, etc. Any change that occurs due to the efforts of human beings is called a man-made change. For example, the formation of steel from raw iron, the making of a kite from a piece of paper, preparing chapatis from wheat flour, etc. These are what? Man-made changes. Now next is periodic and non-periodic changes. Changes that are repeated at regular intervals of time are called periodic changes. All these changes occur after a fixed time period when they are bound to take place. And the examples of periodic changes are: number 1, change of day and night; second, change of seasons, summer, winter and spring; full moon and new moon nights; development of high tides and low tides in the sea. Changes that are not repeated at regular intervals and occur irregularly are called non-periodic changes. These changes can occur at any time and they do not have any periodicity. Examples of non-periodic changes like landslides, earthquakes, power breakdown, etc. In our day-to-day life, we get fever, sneeze, headache, etc. These are some non-periodic changes that occur around as well as within us. An epidemic, a sudden shower of rain, a dust storm, thunder and lightning are also other examples of non-periodic changes because they do not occur at a regular interval of time. Clear? Now, next is the desirable and undesirable changes. Changes that are useful to mankind are said to be desirable changes. For example, when cooking gas burns, it produces heat to cook our food. Similarly, milk turning into curd is a what? Desirable changes. Means it gives benefit to the mankind. And any change that brings about destruction is an undesirable changes. Means what? These are not good for the mankind. For example, floods and epidemics are what? Undesirable changes. Some changes are desirable at one time and undesirable at some other time. For example, cutting of trees is desirable for those who need wood for cooking, but it is undesirable because it damages the environment. Second, burning of a fuel for cooking is a desirable change, but burning of a building is an undesirable change. Third, timely arrival of rains is desirable, otherwise it is what? Undesirable to a farmer as it causes flood and destruction. Next is reversible and irreversible changes. When a change in a substance can be reversed by changing the conditions, it is said to be a reversible change. Water converting into steam at 100 degrees Celsius and steam reversing into water on cooling is an example of a reversible change. Melting and sublimation are also reversible changes. A reversible changes is indicated by two opposite arrows. Examples of reversible changes like glowing of an electric bulb. Whenever you want to glow an electric bulb, you put the switch in on position, and when you don't want, what you do? You just put the switch in off position. Same way, stretching of a rubber band, flowing of a field, melting of wax, vaporization of water, clear, dissolving sugar into water. These are what? These are examples of the reversible changes. Next, if a substance cannot be brought back to its original state after a change, it is said to be an irreversible change. On burning, a piece of paper changes to ash. It is an irreversible change because paper cannot be obtained back from the ash. Examples of irreversible changes. So the first, grinding of wheat or corn into flour. Can you get the wheat back from the wheat flour? No, it is not possible. Cooking of food. After cooking any food like rice or chapatis, can you get back the raw rice and the raw wheat? No, it is not possible. Souring of milk, burning of candle, burning of wood, ripening of fruits. So these are some examples of the irreversible changes. Means you cannot get the substance original substance back. In science, all kinds of changes are classified into two types. First, physical change, and second, chemical change. So, about the physical change and chemical change, I'll discuss in the next video. Till then,